us. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
And there we are. Other people hate that, huh? You like the new intro? Do you like the new introduction? A lot of people aren't going to hear it. People that watch me live probably aren't going to hear it too much. So, but I had to put something in there. All right. I had to have a disclaimer. Gotta get that going on. Let people know that. Because when you say I don't speak for a 12-step group as a whole and stuff, then yeah. People like to do things. So often people will yell, "You're breaking tradition." And I'm not, just so you know. I'm not breaking tradition. I can't figure out if I'm too hot or too cold, man. And I'm a creature of comfort. All right. Did you like it, Michelle? You liked it? All right. Yeah, a little different. There are pictures, and then the pictures match the song and stuff. Probably didn't even notice. Needs a few more pictures in it, though. There's not enough movement going on in it. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit before we get started here. I've been seeing this a lot. People are saying that, okay, let's just get to it, because, you know, I suck at beating around the bush. I really do. I'm not very good at it. So I'm just going to do it the way that I do it. All right. So we got to stop letting these alcoholics have all these options. Okay. There is what is it? There's a, it keeps going. So pretty much people are saying, hey, you know, your recovery is your recovery, and however it looks is however it looks. And everybody's recovery is different. That's the one that's going around. Everybody's recovery is different. No, it's not. The process is the same. Okay. Now, please let me explain this just a little bit. All right. Now, when you're working with an alcoholic, let's say this is what's on board: sober living, treatment, or going back to mom and dad's house where you were using and the codependency is going on. Maybe mom and dad are users too. So these are the three options that I have that I'm going to work with you. But since I allow you to do whatever the fuck you want to with no direction, you're going to do what? You're going to pick the easier, softer way. You're going to go back to mom and dad's house, and I'm going to allow it. That is not recovery. That is abuse. That's abuse. Stop giving these alcoholics all these options. There aren't many. It's part of the sucky period of it. Hi, Amber. Good to see you. Hi. Now, your experience is going to be different. You're going to do different things. You're a different person. Things like that. But the process in and of itself is the same for all of us because it works. So We got to stop that. Your recovery path is unique. No, it is not. Okay. Now, do we meet people where they're at? Do we give them their individuality? Absolutely, we do. But if you give alcoholic options, okay, this person's been sober 2 days. Every single decision they have made in the last 5 years has been a horrible decision, and you're going to continue to allow them to make these decisions. And you put a dangerous person back on the streets, that's you, my friend. That's on you. So stop it. It's killing people. That is not inclusivity. Okay? All right. That was the serious part. We'll lighten up now. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. Sometimes things get to me. All right. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Thank you, Amber, for showing up. It is better that you're here. I didn't mean to go earlier. I just kind of wanted to get my day going. I didn't feel like sitting around waiting anymore. This is how I start. So it's joke time. See, I need a little clip right there. Right? Oh, people laughing, something like that. I hope you guys don't mind that I'm kind of doing all of this. Yeah, see, I need a laugh track is what I need. And I can upload stuff like that too. All right. So we'll work on that. I need a little clip that says, oh, it's time for the joke. Here we go. Shit like that. That's what I'm creating. It's going to change a little bit here. I don't know if you've noticed, but I started dividing these into segments. The first segment is usually something that I see going on. I do an introduction, and then we go to joke time, and then we do the reflection. Okay. That's the new setup. All right. So it's joke time. And we got to give the segment a name, right? The daily laugh or something, right? So anyway, let's get to these. Why was Cinderella so bad at soccer? She kept running away from the ball. We'll work on, what did the horse say after it tripped? Help. I've fallen and I can't giddy up. There we go. There's another guy who tells jokes, and his ending is, it's not funny. It's not funny. So it's something like that. Yeah, hold up something, a joke that says clap or something. Yeah, good idea, Amber. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom? Because the P is silent. One more. What do you call a well-balanced horse? Stable. All right. It'd be better if we could get in some recovery jokes, clean recovery jokes. Maybe I had to take them from the grapevine, but I need like 2 or 3 a day. And, that's like 30 a month. All right. So today we're talking freedom from fear. We're going to be in the 12 by 12, page 122 is where we're going. So let's go there. All right. And what we're talking about here is freedom from fear. Now, why do we need freedom from fear? Because your anger, your resentments, your self-pity, your depression, all these big emotions, they all come from fear. Michelle says, yucca, 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 a desert cheer. I get it. I didn't tell it right. Hey. You want to know how to ruin a knock-knock joke? Okay. And then you say, knock, knock, who's there? So you just said, knock, knock, who's there? Come in. All right. Ever says we're not a glum lot. Daily funnies with Dion. Drum roll. Daily funnies with Dion. There we go. See it? Da 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 da. See, there's always when you have a cadence to something and you got it, right? Daily Funnies Dion. Daily Funnies with Dion. All right. All right. We're going to write that down. Daily Funnies with Dion. Great one. Thank you, Amber. Heck, my friends design half the shit that I do. I send it to actually, mostly Amber. I'm always sending Amber stupid shit. Look what I'm doing. All right. Anyway, so we're supposed to be on page 122, but we're going to go back to page 121. Upon entering AA, these attitudes were sharply reversed, often going much too far in the opposite direction. They were talking about material things, possessions, money, things like that, right? And then, right, so we went too far in the opposite directions. We alcoholics are people of extreme. See, there's that black or white again, right? Amber says, I'll send you my friend bill. That's okay. I can clear it tomorrow. It's my birthday. I'll just clear that bill tomorrow. All right. All right. The spectacle of years of waste threw us into panic. All right. So there's some of us that are a little bit older and we're worried we missed our day. I went through it. I thought I missed my day. I thought I missed out. No. Mm-mm. You didn't. You miss out. You miss out on anything. And you're not going to miss out on anything. Okay, alcoholic. Dear alcoholic, you are not going to miss out on anything. I promise you. Oh, but they're over there having so much fun. Yeah, right now. Give it 2 more hours and watch that spectacle turn into something else. Yeah. And then you'll be like, okay, good. I understand. Yeah. Okay. Amber says, I always joke with people that charge them the boyfriend fee when they ask for Scott's help. Yeah, there you go. Kind of like I'm Kira's dad at the meeting. I get it. Yeah. It's fun little ways to make people understand how important I am. Oh. And we Virgos think we're funny. We do. You should see how funny I think I am when I'm drunk. Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't. That's just a stupid joke. All right. Anyway, so we go to these extremes, right? And we got to find balance, friends. We got to find balance. What we got to find is God. God will help create balance, right? There simply won't be enough time, we thought, to rebuild our shattered fortunes. What fortunes? I never had a fortune. Never. All right. How could we ever take care of those awful debts, possess a decent home, educate the kids, and set something by for old age? All right. My old age is the only thing in that anymore. Wow. Even when we reestablished in our business, these terrible fears often continue to haunt us. They made us misers and penny pinchers all over again. Complete financial security we must have, or else. Okay. Now, actually, I'm going to read this next line real quick, and then we forgot that most alcoholics in AA have an earning power considerably above average. We forgot the immense goodwill of our brother AAs, who were only too eager to help us get better jobs when we deserved them. We forgot the actual or potential financial insecurity of every human being in the world. And worst of all, we forgot God. In money matters, we had only faith in ourselves and not too much of that. What is the opposite of fear? Well, it's courage. Where do I get courage? I get courage from God. How do I get courage from God? By trusting in my higher power. That's the process, and that's what I use, and it works for me. It works for me. Right? Now, not all of us are like this. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a horrible employee. I do not make a good employee because I will see what you are doing wrong, and that's what I will focus on. I don't know why I do that. Well, I kind of do. It stems from my PTSD. I go crazy. I don't know why. If I had the answer, I could fix it, I would do it. All right. And for years, I've heard the gamut on how lazy I am and how then I'm this and I'm taking advantage of my wife and things like that. Man, people have no idea what I do. People don't really know what I do. Half the time, I don't know what I'm going to do today, but I do know that it's going to be God's will. That I do know. And you know what? God takes care of me because of it. Do I get to go on lavish trips? Do I have a really nice car? No, I don't want one. I don't want a really nice car. Because do you know what happens when those things fucking break down? You don't see the thing for a month. No, I'd rather just have a piece of shit car where if the alternator goes out, I can just go ahead and change it in an hour and I'm good. I don't need I don't need other people to be like, "Oh, that's a cool car." I don't need that anymore. I've got God in my life. I've got security in my life. I have good friends in my life. I may not have much money in the bank. In fact, I don't think I really have any money in the bank right now. But yet I'm a wealthy man. I am. Huh? See, I get to do all this. I also put in my time. I did my time, man. I did. I worked a lot of hours, a lot of shit jobs. Anyway, all right. So what do? Well, I help people out all day. That's what I do. I put my time into service work. Yeah. And because of that, I get taken care of. All right. It's one of the freedoms. All right. Now, on the opposite side of that, I don't get to do a lot of things. I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it. Might happen. Yeah. You know. Now, this doesn't mean that my family should suffer or that I should suffer so that I can do that. Okay. God is okay with me sacrificing, but he doesn't want me to suffer to do it. No. I've never felt that way with my higher power. Sacrifice, yes. And what am I sacrificing? Time. You know. And I've been working on things because it goes back to it says that we AAs have an earning power considerably above average. Right. What I've been doing is I've been working on creating my own job so that I can be in the workforce. It's one of the things that I'm working on. But it's dependent upon other people, and those people aren't doing nothing. So we'll see. This all meant, of course, that we were still far off balance. When a job still looked like a mere means of getting money rather than an opportunity for service, when the acquisition of money for financial independence looked more important than the right dependence upon God, we were still victims of unreasonable fears. And these were the fears which would make us make a serene and useful existence at any financial level quite possible. I found out everyone's broke. Everyone is broke. We're just all broke at higher or at different levels. That's it. A lot of people live beyond their means. Yeah. I did that once. Well, I did it more like 5 times. Hence why I'm working on my credit. Right? But if I'm so worried about that and I'm not putting my trust in God, then I'm not going to have serene days. Remember, you're doing all this for you. Right? Yesterday I was talking to my therapist, right? Because I've been getting triggers when it comes to family the last couple weeks, and this last week was a little bit better. It was a little bit better. I don't remember how that matched. It went out of my head and what I said. It'll come back, but it was kind of funny. God, what was I even saying? Balance. I don't remember. My brain isn't. Yeah. Anyway, But as time passed, we found that with the help of AA's 12 steps, we could lose those fears no matter what our material prospects were. We could cheerfully perform humble labor without worrying about tomorrow. Yeah, when you come into the program, you might have to start out as a janitor or digging ditches or these types of things. And I've done all those jobs. Maybe you have to go start out as a dishwasher. It's all right. I'm going to tell you now, there's no difference to me between the janitor and the CEO of any company. There's no difference to me. Everybody's doing the job that they need to do so that we can all make money. That's the way I kind of see it. Right? You are not above manual labor. I'm not. Who do you think cleans the house? Yeah. Right. If our circums happened to be good, we no longer dreaded the change for worse, for we had learned that these troubles could be turned into great values. See, you know what I am? I'm a great example to my kids that you don't need a lot of money to live a good life. That's what I'm teaching them. They understand money. They pay their bills. They have their cars. They have their insurances. They're paying their rent. They're taking care of their children. Their children are going to school, things like that. And so they understand that part already. But what I'm teaching them is that you don't need to have a lot to be happy. That you can make do with what you have. That if you have an imagination, you'll never be bored in your life. Yeah. That, roasting marshmallows makes good memories. That we aren't to argue. Um, there's a birthday party coming up, and I haven't been invited to the birthday party. My daughter, my youngest daughter, and for reasons, good reasons. We weren't, it would have been and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We've settled all that, so it doesn't matter. Just know I had a part in it. We'll just say that. We all had parts in it. That and these other people didn't. My ex-in-laws, they don't really want me around. A lot of drinking. That was weird because when I was drinking, they didn't care if I was around. It wasn't until I quit drinking that they didn't really want me around anymore. All right, so I've gotten an invite, and here we are again. I get to be an example again. You know what my daughter is saying? She's saying, "Dad, I've gotten to know you well enough. I trust you well enough that yeah, come on." That and last year, only one person showed up to my granddaughter's birthday party, and I'm pissed about that still. I'm not gonna say anything. No, not there. That's not the right arena for it, is it? No. And what is that? Well, that's it. What is it called? What am I doing? I'm sacrificing something. I'm sacrificing my own darn opinion, which is what? It's just a fear. Fear of what? Who fucking knows? I'm probably gonna make it up. What they're gonna think of me? I already know what they think of me. My fear is that my granddaughters are gonna be hurt again. That's my fear. And I get angry over that shit. I get angry. Amber says, LOL, Isaac and I like the idea of roasting marshmallows, but none of us like them. We still buy them, take one bite, and the rest is for Scott. That's why you got to get some graham crackers and some chocolate, make s'mores. Then that marshmallow will be really good. Then it'll go really good. I'm not big on marshmallows either. I'm not big on the texture. So I'm the same way. I roast them. I like to eat the outside because it's crunchy. After that, I don't want it. So I hear you, Amber. Michelle says, I go into debt for gifts for children and grandchildren, and I just decided that's going to stop. Years from now, they won't even remember what grandma got them. You know what? You know what my grandma did? She sent me a card and $10 every year. and I was happy with it. Yeah. Um, for Christmas, we got those Lifesaver gift packs. And I remember, and now I see Lifesaver gift packs. And what happens is I think of my grandma and all the good times. That's what I think of. And that Christmas time was flavor country. Yeah. So it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. It isn't until they get older that they start wanting other things. But I have found that most children, they just want your time. They just want your time, especially grandkids. Amber says we still don't like s'mores. We eat chocolate and graham crackers. Amber says take them places instead of giving them things. Make memories. Yeah. Not thrift store piles. There, yeah. Hmm. Without worrying about if our circumstance happen to be good, we no longer dreaded a change for the worse. We're doing some repeating here, but I don't remember where I ended, so we'll just go ahead. For we had learned that these troubles could be turned into great values. It did not matter too much what our material condition was, but it did matter what our spiritual condition was. It does. That's what matters. My spiritual condition. Money doesn't make me happy. It makes me happier, but I need to be happy first. It'll make me happy. But money doesn't seem to make my problems go away. There's no amount of money in the world that will heal the relationships with my children. But there's a lot of spirituality that will. Yeah. Amber says, I refuse to buy video game stuff for my brothers. That's my parents' boat. Yeah, I wouldn't. No. Yeah, when it comes to the kids, we do stuff that, Anyway. Money gradually became our servant and not our master. See? You want to know what I use money for? To help other people, to make service work possible. That's what I use money for. After my bill. What do you think this is? I have to pay for the website. I have to pay for Podbean. I have to pay for Restream. I have to pay for YouTube Premium. There's a lot of things that I have to pay for to pull this off. Okay. And it's not a huge amount of money, but it's what I spend in order to do service work. And I utilize my money to do service work. I don't bring in much. So, all right. That's what I do. When with God's help, we calmly accepted our lot, when we found that we could live at peace with ourselves and show others who still suffered the same fears that they could get over them too, we found that freedom from fear was more important than freedom from want. Amber says, having money makes me not fear emergency vet bills and shit. I would agree with that. Yes. It's nice to have a prudent reserve. I'm not disagreeing with that. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder, we got a lot of cats in this house. I'm like, if something happened to one of these cats, do we have the money right now to take care of it? Because I don't know that we do. So good point, Amber. I would agree with that. I really like this. We found that freedom from fear was more important than freedom from want. And then I would probably ask the question, my therapist does this a lot. Dion, is that what you really want? See, she knows me well enough that sometimes I talk about something I might want, and she knows I don't want it. So she'll ask me that question. Why she asked me it that way? Because I need to make the decision. She doesn't make decisions for me. All right. I'm telling you now, my therapist and I would probably be very good friends if it wasn't for HIPAA. All right. God, that fan is loud. I'm going to turn it off. My crappy fan works better than that. It's a lot more quiet. I think I'm gonna put the crappy fan back in here. Told you it's my number one fan. All right, let's take here a personal note. Let's here take a note of our improved outlook upon the problems of personal importance, power, ambition, and leadership. These were the reefs upon which many of us came to shipwreck during our drinking careers. So let's take note of our improved outlook upon the problems. What are we doing? We're claiming spiritual progress there. Yeah, not everything in AA it isn't about racking dilemmas and problems all the time. It isn't. In fact, 90% of my program, 90% of my life is usually pretty happy. You know? So, but I no longer have to worry about personal importance, power, ambition, and leadership. I don't have to worry about that. I let God handle those things now. Okay, so let's start with personal importance. I know my personal importance. I'm one of many, and I'm fine with it. That's what I want. That's actually what I want. Right? Power. Weird word. kind of a weird word. I'm going to tell you one thing about power that I do not like. When my actions make like my wife cry. I hate it. I'm serious. It pisses me. You saw how I just got angry for a second there. Huh? Yeah, you saw that. All right. I don't like having power over other people's emotions in a bad sense, but I do like it in a good sense if I can bring hope. See, my actions do affect other people. Your actions affect other people, right? So there is power in words too. Absolutely there is. You know, like the other day where the meeting was about trust. And I know how my daughter is feeling right now when it comes to trust. How do I know? Because I've been there. And I sent her a message and I said, did you know that I trust you? And I do. I mean that. I do trust her. Am I giving more leeway because she's my daughter? Yes, I am. Because she's my daughter. Right? But I know how it feels to work your ass off and still not be trusted. I know how that feels. And I told her, your actions have shown me that you are serious about this. She went and hung out with her sponsor last night to go do something else. See, it's those actions that I see. Yes. Okay. So we're going to have, if your actions are going to affect other people and you understand that and you accept it, then you can use that to make it better instead of worse. That's what we're going for. Right? Ambition. It isn't that I don't have ambition, the same ambition. It's that my ambitions are now different. Where before my one ambition was to get drunk. That was my ambition. And to burn down this world and laugh at it. There's a part of me that's like that. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but it's true. Now my ambition. What is my ambition? Well, ambition is motivation. And my motivation, my intention, my ambition is to make sure that everybody in my little community here in Northland, Colorado has a chance at sobriety if they want it. That's my ambition. My ambition is to do God's work now. Yeah. And leadership. Leadership is not telling people what to do. Leadership is being a good example. Yeah. Doing what it is that you say you're going to do. All right. So we're done there. Amber says, I think we all need not be trusted in the beginning. I don't trust sponsees until they complete the steps. Well, considering you take them through in 2 weeks, that's not very long. That's purely a joke. I hear what you're saying. We can all work with trust differently. We can. So, Amber says, I help people I don't trust all the time. Absolutely, you do. Sure, we do. That's part of the that's because our trust is in God, and so thank you for that other experience. Freedom from fear with God's help we calmly accept our lot. Then we have found we could live at peace with ourselves and show others who still suffered the same fears that they could get over them too. We found that freedom from fear was more important than freedom from what? 12 Steps, 12 Traditions, page 122. Material values ruled my life for many years during my active alcoholism. Yeah. We used to call it keep up with the Joneses. All right. Now it's keep up with the Millers. The Millers are the new Joneses. I'm a Miller. Now, material-wise, you'll be able to beat me pretty easy. Material-wise. But when it comes to wealth of relationships and inner peace, you may not be. You probably are, though. I believe that all my possessions would make me happy, yet I still felt bankrupt after I obtained them. It's funny because, like, with the homeless, not funny, it's ironic. Right? See, we assume that what they want is material things like we have. We assume that. But if you go and talk to a homeless person and ask them what is the one thing that you need right now or that you want, they'll tell you a person that will listen to them. A person that understands what they're going through is what they wouldn't like. Yeah. But we make that assumption. They'd rather have a roof over their head. I think it'd be awesome if we could do both. Hey, why don't you and I talk while we're on the bus going to your new place? I wish we could do that. See, if I had a lot of money, that's exactly what I'd do. Right? I would become the richest codependent in the world. I have codependency issues, man. I want to save everybody. I do. Actually, that's more a Superman complex. I know I can't save everybody. I know that. But I want to. I'd like to. I don't want to take credit for it. I just want you to feel better. Amber says, I don't trust many people. Yeah, we caught that. You're not required to. You're not required to trust people. Yeah, we all do it differently. And we've all been through stuff too. I'm not quick on trusting people either. I'm not either, Amber. So, and depends on what I trust them with. Yes. Yeah. The amount of people I trust Isaac with is very few. Absolutely. But I'd probably trust them with my pencil. Well, it depends on which pencil it is. If it's your favorite pencil, I don't know. Yeah. But I get that. Yeah. But, I have a friend that, I know that if I told her anything, it would stay with her. I know it. I also know that if I need her to show up to an important meeting on time, it ain't going to happen. Right? So now those are several different examples of trust. So, yeah. When I first came into AA, I found out about a new way of living. As a result of learning to trust others, Amber, you and I set that up great. I found about a new way. As a result of learning to trust others, I began to believe in a power greater than myself. What is it? When I first came in, I didn't trust me. I didn't trust you, but I did see the process and I could trust the process. So I think we could agree on that one, though, that you can trust the process because I can see it working in other people's lives. We got to start somewhere, right? So that's a good place to start, right? Having faith freed me from the bondage of self. As material gains were replaced by the gifts of the Spirit, my life became manageable. And then choose to share my experience with other alcoholics. And when you can start to share those experiences with other alcoholics, you're going to realize that you've lost the fear because you're talking about it openly. Ooh. And then that fear is turned into a way to help somebody else out and maybe make their day better, maybe even save their life, maybe even save several people's lives. You never know, man. All right. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. And see, that worked out well. Now you still got 7 minutes left in your lunch, Amber, to do with what you please. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for the suggestions today. We heard some great experience, not just from me, but from other people. We came up with the daily funnies with Dion. We learned, we laughed, we loved. I hope you have a great day. I love you. You know I do.